And then we have Florian, his half-brother, who, again, you have the situation with Claudius II's death in that his relative is proclaimed emperor, but also you have the military proclaiming another emperor. They proclaim Probus. So you have a civil war between Florian and Probus, but there's no actual fighting involved in that Probus is already in the east, and Florian is near the east, and his reign pretty much consists of him marching to meet Probus. But Probus retreats into rough terrain, which is poorly supplied, and Florian's troops get sick to death of this phony war and decide to murder him and join Probus.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it.
He also, in the process, Zosimus tells us that he failed to finish off the Goths by committing to this war with Probus. I should probably specify that, yes, these Goths had been raiding Asia Minor, and these Goths, but the Balkans seems to be pretty much secure from the Goths ever since Aurelian's reign. But we know that Aurelian was in Thrace when he was killed, and some sources say that he was killed while fighting a campaign against the Goths. Probably that is the beginning of what we're seeing here, these Gothic raids into Asia Minor now. I mean, Asia Minor had been suffering raids since Valerian's reign, but it was still happening. The northern coastline of Asia Minor was clearly having a bad time, and had been having a bad time for a long time. And Aurelian is assassinated during the campaigning around the Black Sea. And then Tacitus wins his victory, and then Florian, rather than finish off these Goths, allows them to escape inadvertently while he marches east to deal with Probus. That said, this is the last instance we hear of, I'm pretty sure, of Goths raiding Asia Minor. Maybe there's hints of it in Probus's reign, but sort of ceases to be a major thing.
Effective enough to take the wind out of their sails, that even though Florian finished them off, they were still defeated.
Yes, and I certainly wouldn't give the credit for that to Florian, definitely. It looks like Tacitus may have won the last major. I know Probus does take the title Gothicus, so there appears to be some incident that is poorly recorded a bit later, but yes. But Florian failed to finish off these Goths and then marched to Probus, and we're also interestingly told that his army, because it was essentially an army of soldiers from the Balkans, they really did not do well in the Syrian weather during this, waiting for a battle with Probus. Yeah. And there was a bunch of skirmishes and nothing was happening. So yeah, that was one of the reasons they were really having a bad time of it. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's a poor emperor. He doesn't really do anything that's praiseworthy.
Definitely incompetent. Because Probus was already experienced in fighting in the East, and Florian seems to have not to have been. And he played straight into Probus's hands. I mean, the Goths is a question of priorities, I think. You could say that by not using the opportunity to get a victory and solidify some kudos with the troops, that he missed a trick there. And so they may have been a bit more loyal to him when he went to turn against Probus.
Yes.
But at the same time, you could say if he managed to defeat Probus, then the Goths wouldn't have been a problem.
That's true, and I wouldn't want to put too much emphasis on him not finishing them off, because certainly this whole period is about emperors needing to prioritize different risks, and Gallienus had to do it, and Aurelian had to do it. I merely bring it up because it is one of the very few things we can actually say about Florian. But yes, he looks to have been incompetent.